Welcome to today's conversation on how to raise the number of prospects who say yes to your offer with saying using the pleasing discovering calls. Of course, pleasing is going to be an acronym. But so here's the thing though. When prescriptions come before a diagnosis, it's called malpractice. And here's what I mean. Too many wannabe coaches and consultants, they try to offer their solutions before understanding the prospect's needs. Think about this. If you were in the doctor's office and the doctor walks in, writes a prescription, says, take 2 of these and call me in the morning, and he walks out, you would question that doctor, you would question the prescription. You're probably not even going to take the pills. You're not going to see that doctor anymore because he has not taken the time to figure out what it is that you have the problem is, and then to prescribe a solution for you. Are you doing that in your practice? Because too many coaches and consultants are doing exactly that. So that's what's happening during your discovery calls. So let's fix that. And for your notes, y'all, you want to write this down. The money is in the gap. Again, the money is in the gap. Hashtag Daily Fortune. Want to share that around. So again, find the gap, explain the gap, and offer to help close the gap for a fee. And just to give you understand what I mean here, if the prospect doesn't see a gap between where she is and where she wants to be, then she has no use for your services and products. So what you want to do is make that gap between where she is and where she wants to be, make it visceral so they can feel it. And then and only then offer a way to bridge the gap, whether that's through your products or services or a referral to someone else who can. The idea I'm talking about here has to deal with a triage call. And I learned this from a guy named Taki Moore, where he teaches his clients to conduct these triage calls, 15-minute short calls. And I really like this idea. It's changed my business. Hands down, one of the best things I've done for my business. Now, but more than likely, you probably don't know what a triage is, and it kind of gives you some context of what a triage call is. So I asked one of my friends who worked as an ER for years, and she told me that triage is how doctors diagnose the severity of the medical situation of someone who's come into the ER, and then assigns the person to be treated. To give you kind of an example of what this looks like, there's a scene in a TV show called New Amsterdam. When a van load of church members, they've had an accident, and one after another person enters the ER on a gurney. And the paramedics as they bring in each individual, they run down the description of each person's injuries, and then the ER doctor listens to the description and tells the paramedics where to wheel the patient. And it's a lot like, it's a lot to take in at this point because there's a lot of people coming in, but the ER doctor uses her understanding of medical trauma to direct every patient to either to a room for further diagnosis and treatment or to go straight to surgery. And this is what your discovery call should do. I want you to start using the please framework. And if you use this, you'll be well equipped to diagnose your prospect situations and then prescribe a solution to their problem. You want to keep these calls to under 20 minutes, and actually the sweet spot's 12 to 15 minutes, okay? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because as you have written your book, published your book, and has it getting into the hands of your ideal readers, and you have these calls to action for people to call you, to get on a call with you based upon some offer that you made to them, you want to know how to turn this prospect into a client. So you want to use this please framework. Again, the P stands for pain of now. The P stands for pain of now. So in the beginning of your call, you're going to start establishing what's your prospect, what are they in pain right now? What is the real problem? And you want to listen to what that problem is so you can really understand what's going on right now, why are they on the call with you, why do they need your help? The next thing you want to do is go into the L, which is like to be. So you want to find out where your prospect would like to be. You've already established now what the pain they're going through, but now you want to figure out where they would like to be. So if you see that the pain is here for right now, and what they would like to be in the near future is over here. So you've now established the gap. So the next thing you want to do again is establish that gap and examine it. And what I mean by this is you want to start asking questions about what this looks like to them. How does it feel? How do they get this situation? What have they done to try to solve their problem? And when you do this, you're trying to make it real to them so they understand they really have a problem that they need to solve right now. Because if they don't have a pain right now and a place they want to be, there is no gap and there's no reason for them to continue to call. You can get off the call with them right then. But if they have seen the gap and they see it as a gap and they can feel like I need to solve this right now, the next thing you want to do is go to A, which is the actionless question. The actionless question. The actionless question is saying, all right, now that you see where you want to be and where you are right now, you have to figure out that you haven't been able to solve the problem on your own. Then you're going to say, well, what's it going to cost you if you do not solve this problem right now? And you listen. Because now they're going to start selling you on why they need to get this done right now. A person who wants to solve the problem is going to give you reasons why this needs to get done right now. If they do not, it's time to hang up that phone call because they don't want to solve it right now. They're willing to just sit in the pain, and there's plenty of people who are willing to sit in the pain. I'm sure you've been in a situation before where you're like, it's not enough painful enough for me to do anything about it. So I'll just keep reading. I just try to get on these free calls and try to get as much information as possible. And someday I'll fix it sometime in the future. But if the person says, it gives you a real reason during this actionless question and says, I need to get this done right now. And if I don't solve this problem, this is going to happen. They know it. And they want a solution. They're going to ask you, what do we do now? And that's what the S stands for. The S stands for to offer your service and product. You're going to give a broad overview of your service and product. You're not selling them, just saying, this is what we would do. This is what I have to offer. This is your solution you're making to them. And once you tell them this, shut up. Like, seriously, give them the solution and shut up and wait till they ask you how much or how do I get it? And when they ask that question, you go to the E, which is your enrollment questions. The last step is the enrollment questions. Now, your enrollment questions are things such as, what is your first and last name? Where is your best email, your phone number? You're asking for the payment information, and you're breaking that down for them. So you basically filling them and plugging them into the program that you've provided to them, offered to them, right? And this requires proper prior preparation. So you need to have your document ready for you to take their contact information down and all their payment information down, whatever you're going to put it into. So it requires that up front. So again, pain of now, like to be, establish and examine the gap, actionless question, offer your services and products overview, and move into your enrollment questions. Now, this process is kind of like, a well-run dentist office. So for myself, in the last several years, I've been going to the dentist more regularly. I don't know why. I get to a certain age and said, I want to start going to the dentist and take care of my teeth. But I went in initially because I was in pain. I literally woke up out of the bed writhing in pain because my tooth had come to a point where it needed to be removed right then. So I went to the dentist and they removed the one tooth and said, oh, that tooth has caused a problem in another tooth. They removed 2 teeth and a root canal in the situation. Now, since then, I have finally got to a point where my examines I've gone to 6 months apart because I listened to what these dentists said. And I'm saying dentists for a reason. Because over the last 5 years, I've had 4 different dentists at this same dental office. But the process they use of coming in, diagnosing my problem right now, bringing in a nurse to come in and to say, this is what we prescribe for you. This is the treatment plan over the next several months or years. And here's how do you want to make a payment? They do the same thing. They establish the pain. Here's what you would like to look like. Here's what, if you don't do this, here's what is going to happen to you. Would you like to fix this now or later when it gets worse? The same process. It works regardless of what dentist is running that office or not. So again, to recap this, the P is pain of now. The L is like to be. E is establish and examine the gap. A is actionless question. The S is the services and product overview. And the E is the enrollment questions. And remember, y'all, look, stick to the script. Ad libs are for actors. Don't be an actor. Doesn't mean you got to read it verbatim, but it means you need to go directly down the script so you ask all the questions you need to ask. That's why a dentist, a doctor, or a dentist comes in with a sheet. They go through the checklist of asking all these questions so they can diagnose you. Do the same thing for your own business. Now, here's what I ask you to do. Speaking about these scripts, I want you to, your takeaway for today is to script out your next discovery call using the please framework that we just went through, and keep it short and to the point. Now, remember, you're not selling. You're being sold to. The person you're speaking to is selling themselves on why they need to be your client. That's a position of power. Accept that. You have the solution, and they need to pay you for that solution. Do not convince. Listen, diagnose, and prescribe. My name is D. Orlando Fortune. I am a book consultant helping entrepreneurs and speakers to write and publish branded books to help bring in more clients, increase their profits, and to get on more stages. If you love what we said today, definitely go ahead and share this around. Share it to someone who needs to hear today's message, and definitely review it for yourself and increase your own profits. That being said, you can be, you can do, you can have anything you want in this world. You've just got to believe. You can live a life of no doubt, just blessings, and I will show you how. For all you no doubters out there, all a part of No Doubt Nation, you know what our mantra is: say it loudly and do it proudly and make life happen every day. And always remember, you're one book away. God bless, and I'll talk to you next time.